What's up everyone, Blade here, and welcome back to another video of Persona 5 The Phantom X. Inside today's video, guys, we're going to be talking about the option of Violet being the next character in line, mainly if we're trying to follow the right banner order. So if you guys are interested in this, be sure to sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, it really does help me out quite a lot here. And if you are feeling generous enough, be sure to hit that comment, and it will at least leave that comment down below. It does help out the channel a lot for the algorithm, and I'll always have like a random question I'll ask you guys. So if you want to answer it, that'd be great for me as well. So let's get straight into the video. But without further ado, there is a lot of things that are going to be happening within the next week. We recently did just get the newest character that's out, being CNY Ren, and obviously we're building up to something special, right? We have, of course, a couple options of characters that are going to be coming out, but the most probable one should be Violet. And the reasoning is for this is because Violet 1 should have came out a little while ago, right? She came out originally before Matoi and CNY Ren, and that was the start of the P5R collaboration. Well, they ended up moving things around, and obviously you guys see the outcome of this, where we have CNY Ren here, we have Matoi here, and now we're in a clouded judgment area where we don't know either if she's going to be next, if she's going to get pushed back further, and so on and so forth. So I'm here to at least try to shed some light on it and try my hardest to use a little bit of facts and logic to try and tell you guys that she's going to be the next one. So if you guys can go ahead and look at my screen here, we're on lefel.next here. If you guys have not used this website, be sure to use it. It's absolutely fantastic. I use it all the time here. But usually when it does come down to the progression of the game or the release schedule here, we are pretty darn correct on everything, right? Well, currently, this is our current release schedule that should be possibly happening, right? Where we have Firecracker Ren, in which this has all the events and stuff that we're in currently. And then in 7 days, we should be seeing Kasumi Yoshizawa. Now, the thing about this is it's kind of interesting. Now that they've moved things around, it's very hard to really see exactly what they want to do. If they wanted to, they very well could move up Turbo, which I highly doubt is going to happen. But I've had people ask like, hey, they're probably going to push her back again. There's going to be Turbo here, blah, blah. And I don't see this being the case. The reason that I see it like this is mainly based on the story probability. If a lot of you guys who have been playing TW or even have been around my channel for quite some time, there was a reason that certain things got moved around. And this was because at the time period, we were still trying to figure out a really good schedule, or either TWKR and CN was trying to find out a good schedule in order to make everyone happy, right? Where we had sometimes in between some weird skip banners, we had some banners that made no sense, like Riddle and I think it was Riddle and Phoebe, no, Riddle and Ren, the 5-star curse version of her that had just a random banner. And these were just random skip banners or just random banners in general that didn't make quite too much sense. And it kind of messed around with like where we had limited characters at, it messed around where we had certain things at, and created this weird spacing. Because originally how it was, we ended up getting the teaser per P5R, and then we had Kasumi come out, right? Right after that was Matoi and CNY Ren, or CNY Ren and then Matoi, because we had the DPS first before we had the debuffer. And that was a little bit weird as well, because at that point we didn't really have a dedicated debuffer for CNY Ren, so it made things a little bit awkward, right? So after those two, we then had a randomly Akechi. And it was kind of interesting because how they've been doing the P5R collabs or the P5 collabs and stuff is they've tried to make them very side to side, right? Making sure all the banners, no matter what, are staying coherent with at least the crossfade. We've seen this obviously with them keeping it with Makoto and Yusuke. We've seen this with Futaba and Haru. And I have a feeling this is going to be the same way for Kasumi and Goro. Both of these characters are insanely good here, and it would only make sense to have them side by side. One, because they could do a little bit of something interesting, much like how we had on TWKR with Luce and Soy, where they do like a little together experiment there. But I highly doubt that's going to be the case. I think the main probability case is because they want to make the story very just like, you know, straightforward, right? With the crossfade, and they want to try their hardest to not have that weird spacing. By doing so, it then fits in the release schedule and doesn't throw off the what's it called, the balancing of characters to an extent, right? Because with the twins, we had a very weird balance issue where they were just really overpowered, and they still are very, very overpowered here to this degree. If they ended up moving both Akechi and Kasumi up to fit with their stories, it would have made that power creep even crazier, and then most people probably wouldn't have even went for CNY Ren. But with the way that they're doing it now, they know they're going to get a lot of people to at least summon anyways, because this is P5R, for Christ's sake. These are two characters that are highly anticipated, so putting them behind CNY Ren and them is already going to make people want to kind of drive to get the characters anyways. And then around the same time period, if we do this and look back at the schedule here, it's slowly coming closer and closer to around that anniversary timing. You guys on Global is a little bit weirder with at least the timing of banners here, seeing that we did go faster in some aspects immediately, and it has thrown off a couple things. Now, if they wanted to, since they're going to be releasing these two immediately, it's then going to end up being the CN anniversary, right? If we could possibly, right, hear me out, they might end up going ahead and celebrate anniversary earlier. Reason thinking of this is because this is going to happen in April. If Global ended up dropping in June or around that time point here, this is obviously going to be off-centered, meaning if we are trying to keep Ange as our Annie unit, they are most likely going to try to celebrate Annie a little bit earlier, and this is going to drive a lot of people to summon right after Kasumi and this and such and so forth. I think this is mainly just more of a marketing strategy, which is going to mainly be a good thing for driving sales, but a bad thing for anyone who is just like really trying to hoard gems, because I'm not gonna lie, with Kasumi most likely being next week, or at least getting announced next week, it is about to be the gauntlet of hell, which I see this more of a business standpoint, that they're going to do it this way instead of pushing further out. Now, there are the options of, if they push further out, what will happen, right? What will we do? Some people really do think Akechi's going to be before her, and it just wouldn't make sense story-wise. So if they ended up pushing them out here, the only thing that would end up taking place is Turbo. But I just don't think that's going to end up happening, especially seeing that, we do want to slowly move into that 4.0 area, and Turbo was our way of slowly gliding into 4.0. There's a really good buffer here that really started to set the precedence of Pierce Pierce or Pin, and that was more of the gimmick the second we got the Annie character, being Ange. Second she came out, she was the Pin Navi that was absolutely insane. So being able to have a character like this to glide you into the 4.0 area was more of that lovely little hill that we had to climb over to get to the better updates. I don't think they're going to do that anytime soon early, or at least going to do that early, because it just wouldn't make sense, and it'll throw everything disarray. And plus, I don't really think you're going to use her anyways with Kasumi that often, so it just wouldn't make sense team-wise either. So Kasumi most likely is going to be happening next week. That's really what I do believe here. I'm really excited to see exactly what she's going to get buffed with. For a lot of people, they're hoping that she gets heavily buffed because, of course, the delayed time period. I don't think that's going to happen because, one, this character is already insanely busted. The most I can see them doing is making her rotation maybe a little bit easier by somehow giving her something that will simplify this. Because if we look at this here, you guys can see 2-1-1, like all this stuff to really go for like the big DPS moment, which is usually going to be on your skill 3 and your highlights. So they would have to do something that absolutely shortens her rotations, and if they don't do something like that, they're going to do like a minimum buff on her damage in general, which she really doesn't need a buff at all, because honestly this character is extremely broken. But you guys let me know what you think down below. How do you feel about the current timeline of things? Do you think it's going to get pushed back even further? Do you think everything's going to be perfectly fine? I think without a doubt next week is Kasumi, and I highly doubt they're going to be pushing her back any further, but for now we can only assume. So take care, you guys. And I did want to, oh wait, before I did close out, I had this in parentheses here that I absolutely skipped over, meant to say it at the beginning of the video. You guys have probably noticed I haven't done a lot of streams this week. I am preparing like crazy for 7 Deadly Sins, and I'm preparing like crazy. When I mean like a madman, I'm getting thumbnails made, I'm doing stuff to make sure I can do giveaways soon. and it is a lot of stuff going on in the background. Haven't had a lot of time to really do a lot of things, so this week, unfortunately, we are not going to be doing account reviews. I should have announced that. I'm probably going to put it on the community page as well, but we're not going to be doing account reviews this week. We're going to try and do account reviews next week, though it's going to, oh, excuse me, it's going to be very hard because there's a lot of things that are going to be getting juggled next week. If Kasumi is coming out next week at that point in time, it is going to collide a little bit with my 7 Deadly Sins stuff, so I may be a little late covering that information, but we'll end up seeing exactly how that does go. But till now, thank you guys for watching, and peace on out.